Hello, I am Paula Bennett. Welcome into my New Zealand Herald podcast, Ask Me Anything. Now, one thing I've learnt in life is it's never too late to learn something new. So on this podcast, I talk to people from all walks of life to hear about how they got to where they are and get some advice and guidance on some of life's biggest questions. Today, we have a bit of a different episode for me. Certainly the most risque I have done to date. My guest is somatic sexologist Morgan Penn. Morgan, along with ZM host Hayley Sproul, has just released season 2 of her podcast, Sex.Life, and joins me to talk all things dating and intimacy. Hi, Morgan.
Hello, Paula.
Right. Here's my rules.
Damn it, I'm not good with rules.
Okay. I call it my housekeeping. I think you're going to love these rules. I was reminding myself about my podcast and I was like, oh, Morgan will love these rules.
Okay.
The first is I am allowed to ask you anything.
Oh.
But you don't have to answer.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good boundary.
And especially you would get it we'll talk about this, but from radio and podcast, the last thing anyone wants is silence, right?
Yeah.
So if we as women could learn to shut up every now and then if someone asks you something you didn't want to answer, you just go, zoom.
Yeah.
And, anyway.
Okay.
And you like this one though too. The second is this is a safe space.
Beautiful.
We do no judgy, I call it.
I love that.
Yeah, no judgy.
No time for that.
No, it's my daughter. It's always been our thing. It's like we may have a little gossip.
Yes.
And then we go, but no judgy.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I feel safe already.
Yeah, we're going to ease in. Quick fire. If you could invite anyone to dinner, who would it be?
Oh my God, the top twins. Absolutely.
Really?
2 for the price of 1.
Wow.
They're sexy, they're funny, they're naughty, they're activists. They're a key piece of our history.
They're interesting. Too.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And they are kind of almost classic Kiwiana, with that sort of rural bent to them, and then they blend into our cities as well, and then they just cross everything that you do. You just think top twins think Kiwi.
Yeah, they're grassroots us. I think we can all see ourselves, a little bit of ourselves in them.
So would you cook for them? Do you cook?
I do cook, but they call me like a marae chef. Like I just look at the fridge and I go, oh yeah, that, whip that in.
Okay.
That'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not very good. I just make weird stuff out of whatever's there.
What would your perfect day look like?
Waking up without an alarm clock, some kind of sexual escapade, either with myself or with a lover, delicious food, coffee, beach, reading, probably more pleasure, a massage, giggles with people I love.
Yeah. Does sound like a perfect day, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's find out a bit more about you, what you do. So you must get asked this all the time, what is a somatic sexologist? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you are, yeah. So a sexologist, which is a little bit more simple, is someone who's like studied human behaviour around sex, why we do the things we do, what drives us to have sex, what's behind everything that we do sexually. Mm-hmm. And a somatic sexologist is someone who works with the body as well as the psychological piece when it comes to sex.
And so what study do you do for the sexologist, or both?
Yeah, so there are 2 sort of pathways. If you're going to become just a clinical sexologist, then you would have studied psychology and then done a postgrad in sexology. I went down the route of working with the body, so I had to study in Australia, and I studied there at the Institute of Sexology. So I had to actually do hands-on work with my classmates, which really threw me in the deep end. I did not want to go internal with my classmates, but that's what I had to do to really understand the body and the physiological response when we are aroused.
So it was physical. Like when you say hands-on, you literally mean hands-on.
Yeah. And I had to have multiple prostates that I had to find to pass all my curriculum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was confronting for the man I was dating at the time, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. What did you do today, dear?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wouldn't give me his prostate. So I said, well, that's an extra prostate I've got to get out in the world. That could be yours, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I've got to do. And then you would have had other people hands on you.
That's right. Every hole, every bit, because you've got to feel what it's going to feel like as well for your clients?
Yeah.
What's actually
So there must be a certain personality that wants to be a sexologist.
I'd say so. I've always been very open with my body.
Have you?
Yes. My mum has instilled a sense of confidence, openness. Nothing was off limits for talking about. It was a very open household. Which made me not have any shame around my body or just the very simple bit, what's this? What's this lump? Why is that hair growing there? Oh my God, there's a little bump in my chest. My breasts are growing, you know?
Yeah. But then how do you go from perhaps that into becoming a sexologist? I mean, it's not a normal career path, shall we say? Is such a thing as normal? I don't know. You know what I mean?
I know, I do know what you're saying. I was in radio for 15 years and I loved that. That was just, I kind of grew into that. That was my natural calling. And yet I still felt like I wasn't really serving my full purpose. I knew there was something more in there. And so I became a life coach because I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
There was this, and I loved talking and I loved connecting. And that was great, but it felt a bit too like rah-rah for me. Like if someone was like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. You can do it. Let's make a plan. 3 things to get you out of bed. You know, that's how it felt to me, life coaching. I wanted the nitty gritty. I didn't even know there was a job as a sexologist. And then I saw an Australian sexologist on Instagram and I thought, oh my God, someone gets paid to help people talk about sex. And I was like, that's me. I have to do it.
Wow.
And I literally left radio within 6 months and was retraining. And
so how old were you when you became a sexologist?
I was...
You don't have to answer that. That's one of those you don't have to answer.
No. I think this is a silly thing when women get funny about their age. It's like it's such a gift to grow old and the wisdom that comes from... Yeah. I would have been 33 when I certified. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same, by the way, on the age thing.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm 54. I'm going to turn 55 in a couple of months. And I'm like, I have earned every frickin' one of those years, those months, and actually got quite a lot of life in them.
Yes, Queen. You just give me goosebumps.
But it's kind of true, eh? It's like, I'm proud of them. It's no way.
And we actually really need to be celebrating that age group because you are our matriarchs.
Yeah.
We need strong, beautiful, open women to lead, you know, so that we're not afraid of aging, that we're like, this is awesome.
Since we seem to be on a slight confessional, the only naughty thing I do once a year as a complete stranger, usually overseas. I'll tell them I'm like 10 years older just so they can tell me I look good.
That's good.
That is really vain, eh?
No.
Really vain. Just every now and then.
A little cheap thrill.
It'll just, like how old are you? Oh, I'm 68. Look at your skin. I'm like, I know, it's like a 55-year-old. It's like, really, I've been told that.
I love that. I'm going to keep that in my pocket.
Like, hey, when you're 55, you might just be been married for a long time, just crave that little compliment that comes.
Cute.
Okay, so what's the difference between you slightly told me, but I need a bit more. So the difference between the sexologist and the somatic sexologist, and then also what's the difference with a sex therapist?
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of part and parcel the same. Somatic sexologist, I can perform one-way touch on my clients.
Yeah.
If this has been negotiated, talked about. I do a lot of my clients via Zoom because I got well known from doing a podcast as I was studying. Yeah. And so I got lots of clients from all around New Zealand and the world, actually. So I've got one component on my business online, so obviously there's no touching there. But I also work with vulva owners where I perform something that I would call like embodied counselling, which actually is, you know, we've all got a little sort of trauma and we have it in a cellular level in our body. And so while our mind cognitively understands what happens to us and we can try and process it, our body is having a different experience of the world and of trauma. And so quite often the body doesn't get a chance to sequence through trauma. Right. So you need to kind of come into a space where someone can hold you. And sometimes it's about having different parts of the body touched, supported, held, massaged, shook, pounded. It's really strange when we give the body space to express.
So you do appointments, as you say, and so tell me what that would entail if someone I came along. What does that what would that experience and how long might it be? And
it depends what your intention is for the session. The main thing that women come to me for is what we call a yoni mapping, which is really a journey back into the body, connecting back into the power center, so the heart, the breasts, the womb, and ultimately going internal.
Yeah. And
that is, so many women are disconnected from their bodies. They haven't been touched in a way that isn't sexual or medical before. Neutral. This is a neutral, safe, loving touch.
Yeah.
And that's profound for a lot of people. And actually it just gives that body a chance to feel, do I like that? Do I not? Can I find my voice here? Learning about different erogenous zones, learning if there's pain or numbness, or what does my body open to? What feels good? What doesn't? So it's learning your own landscape. And so a lot of women don't know where their G-spot is, or how big their clitoris is, or how much of the vulva that clitoris sits underneath. People just think it's this little pearl at the top, and it's not. It's got legs that go all the way down to the entrance. So it's about body-mind integration, because we're so disconnected from our bodies these days.
So as we ascertained, I'm 54 years old. That sounds terrifying.
Do you want to get on my table?
No, that sounds terrifying.
I can book you in next week.
So there will be women out there like me that are just going, oh my goodness, I get what you do. God bless you, because I'm sure there's people out there that just feels very confronting.
Of course. But some people will listen to that and have a calling, go, I need that.
Yeah.
And that's the people that will show up, And I yoni mapped a woman who was 64 the other day.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And she didn't know where her G-spot was.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, that's pretty cool. How do you relax them to start with? And by the way, just go and listen to season 1 of Sex.Life, and then you will hear about Hayley going through some of this, won't they? So if you haven't listened, then you can go and actually do some of that, which we'll talk to you about her experience.
And
right?
it is about relaxing. It is about safety. So I love that you put in some boundaries at the start, your rules for safety. Because it's always about that. Our nervous systems need to feel safe to open up. And it's exactly the same with the body, So it's a process. We do a bit of talk therapy, we do a bit of massage, we derobe, so it's layers of the clothing coming off. That sort of shows that we're stripping back the layers metaphorically as well.
Yeah.
And then, there's consent every step of the way.
Yeah. How many sexologists are there in New Zealand?
There's a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that many, but we're getting more, and we're in dire need.
Are we? And so you're in demand?
Yeah. I've got a wait list of clients, and so do many others, because we try and share and put people onto other people. And,
So do you only work with women?
I work with men on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and couples, but only, with women.
So you do couples?
Yes. Yeah.
And might they be coming because they want to refresh their sex life, or is it just a way for them to maybe take themselves to another level?
Lots of different reasons, but I would say the number one is actually communication. People do not know how to communicate desires, or how to even open up a conversation of how to do something different.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been together with someone for so long and you've never really said what you liked, because you just kind of fell into bed together, you found your routine, you think you know what the other person likes, so you just kind of get on with it. You kind of get to a point after a while and you go, is there more?
Yeah.
And how do I voice that? And how do I even start the conversation to find out what else is out there?
Yeah. Because could be concerned that it could be seen as a criticism of the last 15 years.
Yes. And people really take so much offence in this area of our lives.
Yeah.
Instead of I don't like cycling anymore, I'm going to go to yoga.
Yeah.
People are oh, sure, whatever you're into, you know. But it's actually, I'm sick of that position. I want to try this one. Oh my God, why? You hated it. How long have you hated it for? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Are we more prudish? Do you think New Zealanders are more prudish?
Yeah, I really do. I think there's part of us that think we're really liberal and progressive, but we're not. We're actually not. I'm on the coalface. We're not.
We're not, eh?
No. What do you think?
I'm really uncomfortable.
Like currently or just...
Well, even the thought of talking to you. And then I thought, and I'm not a prude. I mean, I think.
You seem very comfortable in this chat.
I am. I quite like being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I'm someone that doesn't mind getting out of their comfort zone. And in fact, I think it's really good for you. And I've got a wonderful thing on my wall that just says, an ordinary life does not give me pleasure.
Ooh.
So
yes,
yeah, so I don't mind. It's not an ordinary life. Okay, so but yeah, I think we are more prudish, and we were just saying because your podcast is absolutely taken off and is just just going so well, and we were saying because people are kind of begging for it, and it's a way to sort of go into that world and hide in the earphones, eh?
Yeah, and also what it's done, because what I am trying to do with it is just to normalize talking about sex. Just normalize it, because the more we can talk about it, the more we actually realize what's healthy, which means there's less like lurking in the shadows, the unhealthy stuff, the dangerous stuff. The more we know what's healthy and we can talk about, I reckon the less lurks around. And what the podcast has been able to do is people can say, oh, I heard this on this podcast, because the podcast is so normalized and okay to listen to.
Nice.
It's a reference point. Or people say, honey, have a listen to this on your way to work and we'll talk about it when we get home. So it's kind of like, could we try that? Because every episode I give home play, which also means that the listeners get something, an exercise to go out and practice in their own sex life, whether that's with themselves or with another person.
Okay, so for those that have not listened in, we in season 1, where you attended a sex school in rural New Zealand. Like, who knew there was such a thing?
I know.
How did you find it?
Well, I guess I'm in the world of sex, right? So I actually knew about it. I had a few colleagues that had attended it overseas. It's an international school, but it's based here in New Zealand. This is like the hubbub of it. And some of the things I'd heard that they had done there, I was like, that is wild and unsafe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, I need to get down there, experience it for myself and see what the hell's going on.
Wow.
Because there is talk around it. And actually there were some news articles about a police inquiry around sacred sexuality, things like that. And I just thought, it's a duty of care, really. Like, I need to know what's happening in the sexual landscape. I'm going to go down there and see what it's all about, what's happening down there.
So everyone has to go and listen in, because you do sort of 9 days, don't you? And you do a day each episode of Sex.Life.
And it just kind of escalates every day, which I think they were beating us down,
Yeah.
Even though, the first day we were literally humping the earth, it was a initiation by fire, but then it just got more and more wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you look back and go, oh my goodness, what did I do?
Yes.
And, because you're in it, right?
Absolutely.
It's your lived existence and it's sort of all of your existence, right, at that time.
And when I went there, that's right, we became our own organism.
Yeah.
Because you're living on site, you're being fed their food. It's very strange.
They tell you when to go to bed, they tell you when to wake up, they tell you who you're going to lie next to almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And, when I went there, I didn't intend to do a podcast about it. That wasn't on my radar at all. And it wasn't until I came back and I started to process it. And this took months, and this is why there is a lot of issues around it at the moment being reviewed, if it is actually safe, because even as I was recording the podcast, that helped me to integrate my experience. And I had a friend that came with me on that, and she was like, I forgot about that stuff. It's like my brain just blanked it out. Like,
wow.
She goes, it was really quite confronting to listen back and to know that I did that from quite a different state of mind.
Yeah. Would you recommend people go?
No. You'd have to be a very boundaried, solid, have done heaps and heaps of self-improvement type of person to go in and hold your own and not get traumatized.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good advice. I heard your mum had slight anxiety when you first started training.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So true. Bless her. My mum was
Mum's supposed to though, right?
Yeah. And she was always hyper-vigilant around like sexual abuse, when I was a child and things like that. Very protective, which
nice.
Great. I'm so grateful for. And so she just thought, this is unsafe. I think once she knew that I was working on others' bodies and people had to work on my body, she was like, what sort of a school is this?
Yes.
Didn't make sense in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it true that you helped Mum get on Tinder?
Yes.
Do you recommend that women around my age, will be nice to her, say, go single on Tinder?
Oh, shit, yes.
Really?
Oh, do you know what? This is my favourite age group for like reclamation of sexual liberation.
Wow.
Do you know what? There's so many. I've got a lot of clients in that age bracket.
Yeah.
And it's like they've been married, they've either come out of like marriages and they're going, oh my God, I can choose what I do with my body. I can actually prioritize pleasure. I can, so many people have just gotten married, had kids, done the wife duty. And I'm just seeing this like new age group of people going, wow.
Yeah.
This is a whole new smorgasbord. And for my mum, bless her, she's been on my journey. She said to me once, you're the first person that I've ever heard give permission and say it's okay to self-pleasure.
Yeah.
And she said that it was a game changer for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Coming from a Catholic family and...
Even the dating thing for us is quite unusual because, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but, I didn't come from a Catholic background. So ultimately you went out, you either hooked up or you didn't. And then finally one of those hookups stayed around for a while longer. And,
You'll do.
Oh, well, here we are.
Yeah.
And so explaining to my, the odd single friend that's gotten single and going, actually, you can go and meet someone for a coffee.
Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. You don't have to jump in the sack.
You don't.
No.
There's no obligation. It's absolutely fine. You don't,
And I think people's worlds can get smaller as they get older.
Sure.
And so dating is a beautiful way to meet new people and expand on experiences and get a taste for what other people are up to and get a sense of, what else is out there?
Okay, well, we've already had a lot of advice, but I think that we've got a lot more to come. So up next, we're going to ask Morgan to share her wisdom and expertise on all things relationship, dating and sex. Okay, everyone, we are back. Morgan, you've got so much wisdom to share. I feel like I've already learned a lot. So that's good. So let's dive right back in. What are some of the main issues people are seeing you for and issues that people are experiencing? What do they want help with? You've sort of said it's at getting connected with their body, but...
Yeah, that's a big piece because quite often people don't even know what they want because they're disconnected from their bodies and they think they should almost have like a menu. Oh, I like this and this and this. But when we are in our bodies, we realise that our body wants different things every day. And if we can communicate, which is one of the biggest issues people come to me for, we have the capabilities to share what we're desiring and for someone to hear it without taking offense or to think they haven't been doing it right for so long and a willingness to do something different. And I will just emphasize this word willingness, right? There's so many people that have got a mismatch in desire. That's another big
we're going to talk about that,
So often people are like, well, I don't even want to try, you can give me this exercise, but I'm not even feeling arousal or desire in my body. So how do I even start? And willingness is what will move you through these hard things, right? So you might not want to show up, but if you're willing to show up, that's where the juice is. So it's about being willing to either come to a session, to have those hard conversations, to try something new that will change everything. So it's communication. That's probably the biggest thing, mismatch in libido and, disconnect from the body.
Yeah. And I was going to kind of ask that as well. I suppose being my age, and definitely most of my friends are going through menopause, and they certainly are experiencing that body change. For some of them, they just say, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah.
Actually, and then, I hope that it's going to come back, or, like that sort of thing. And so is that real? Good. Well,
God.
it certainly feels real.
It's so real. Hormones play such a huge piece in our sexual bodies. And I think for women especially, like in terms of even what happens to the genitals, we can have vaginal atrophy, which is where the lining gets thinner. Can be pain in sex, which is like, if that used to be a pleasure centre and now is a pain centre, is confusion in the body. Why would you be craving sex? So there's so much going on there. But what I think we need to do as a society is talk about this, educate the men if you're in a, cis hetero couple, and work on it together. And there's amazing hormone replacement therapies. I don't think women should have to suffer through this time, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've got a beautiful teacher who talks about this as a burning up. Like, there's like hot flushes, right? For some people that go through menopause. This is a burning up of your old self and moving into this like wisdom, different, fiery woman. Yeah. And I really like that as well.
That is a nice way to put it. I talk about menopause a lot.
Oh, do you? Amazing.
Because I just don't think we do, right?
Fly that flag.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then it's almost a bit of a shock, and then it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and I make the guys at work so uncomfortable.
Good on you.
And it's just like, well, actually, your wives are going to go through it at some stage. Your mothers probably have, actually it's really real, guys. Yeah. And you've got to have an understanding of what they're going through. And it's actually not embarrassing. It's
not at all.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And it's a big thing. And women are expected to still go to work and do everything else normal. It's actually crazy. So good on you. Yeah.
Okay, so do we know our bodies well enough?
No, we don't. We don't get the right education. I mean, we are getting better at these things with our children and our rangatahi, but there's still like a disconnect. There's still, still people call like a vulva a vagina.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the vulva is the outside piece. It's not hard, Yeah. It's like calling an eyelid and eyelash the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not. They're different parts,
we don't know.
But we don't.
I know it's not off because it's just when I was listening to you, it was you were talking about Hayley's thighs, which she was talking about them, so I'm not being, and you just said, man, aren't they powerful and aren't they wonderful and they lift you, and I just was driving in my car laughing my ass off because I think my ankles are remarkable because my ankles carry this body around. And sometimes in the most impractical shows.
Can I have a little spy on your
But life,
cute.
And I am just like, and that's okay, right? Well, whatever gets you through a day some days, right? And I just laughed and I just went, you know what, if I'm having a bad body day or, like this, I thought this would fit me and it's not quite today, and I just go, I look down and I just go, man, those feet and those ankles are amazing.
Yes.
All those bones and muscles are carrying around all these kilos every day to get me where I want to be.
Yes, but that's the best reframe. If you're not feeling loving towards your body, if you can actually think about what it's doing for you, how can you not have gratitude?
Yeah.
But because sometimes I freak myself out when I know I've got a whole skeletal structure happening in amongst this squish, but you forget.
Yeah.
You actually forget about everything that's happening inside the skin. And when we really place our awareness in our body, we kind of go, oh, we're a walking miracle.
Like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think about this bit goes with that bit and how it reacts and what it does. And it is absolutely. We talked a bit about it, but let's talk a little bit more about how important it is for a couple to be on the same page. And you kind of talked about that willingness, and I was thinking, that really is quite real, right? As someone who sits around with her girlfriends lunching, far too often, and we would often, we would just sort of go, he's off in this space at the moment, or for those in same, she's off in this one at the moment, I'm just not in that space. Sometimes it's okay, right? Take a couple of days, a weekend's all good, like, hey. But it's when you feel it's sort of starting to become more of a pattern.
Yeah, that's
sexually,
right.
Yeah.
We're all going to be in different seasons sexually at different times. For two people to be on the same page at the same time with their desires and wants for frequency or different acts, it's so rare. It's not going to happen often. And so it's good to know that you've got a safe place within your union to be able to communicate it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we're in places where we just can't. But the more we can normalize these chats, be like, hey, how are you feeling in your sexual body this week? I've noticed you haven't touched me. Or, hey, I've really felt the lack of you touching me this week and I miss you. You know, just these little things just create bridges to this intimacy. And it is hard, but I really fly the flag of radical honesty.
Yeah.
Because we always wonder what somebody else is going through, and unless they actually tell us, we don't know. And so we assume and we go into stories, and that's when we make sex personal. Oh, it's me. They don't want me.
Yeah.
But they might be having something so different happening in their body.
Yeah.
Stress, not enough sleep, not eating properly, just off it, whatever. But it's good to share.
And if you're talking, you're getting there.
Yeah.
Surely most couples are on that same page for the first year or two.
Well, yes and no. I feel like they don't really, well, yes, they're in that honeymoon phase.
They're in the horny, they're in the horny
they're
stage.
horny, the horny galoots. And so they are going for it a lot more. But the communication piece normally isn't there.
No.
Because they think this is great, we don't even need to discuss, it's just happening. And then it sort of hits a bump and then people go, oh God, okay.
Yeah.
And then I say, well, what have you discussed? What contracts have you made around sex? We haven't talked about it. We just got on with it.
And some of that's trust, right?
Yeah.
That you love them and you're in the early stages, but actually trust doesn't mean it does take longer. Different stages, different levels of it.
But also a skill set. We haven't been taught how to have these conversations.
No.
We don't. I often am teaching frameworks of communication for people because they just don't know where to start. Or they just blurt things out. Oh, I hope for the best, you know.
Yeah.
That's where we do a bit of damage with our words as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I suppose on that then, is our sex education in school any good? Oh, I mean, it just feels like it's
started on the latest.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's just so disappointing. You know, I feel like we're going backwards. We were doing quite well, but I think the fact that now, you know how you asked about if Kiwis were still quite prudish? Unfortunately, within sex education, parents have got a choice whether or not their child has that education. And so you would actually be shocked at the amount of parents that take their kids out of sex ed.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's dreadful, eh?
It's really disappointing. Or the amount of schools that Herald, the life education, go to, and the school says, don't teach about sexuality, which is a piece of contention at the moment around the new sex ed legislation that's coming out.
Yeah.
So it's really sad because we'd moved into a place where inclusivity was really being pushed and people being celebrated for who they liked, what they liked, normalising a lot of things that people were struggling with alone and felt really alone.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I almost feel like I should stand up in front of this classroom and go, hi, kids, I know there's a whole lot of stuff going in your heads, hormones are all over the place, and can you just all deal with that alone because I'm not allowed to talk to you?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. So I am worried. But
and even from a physiological, you know, like, as you say, helping them know their bodies.
Yes. And I often think, imagine if we empowered and taught, which we had started to get into, we were starting to teach about pleasure.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were celebrated for doing that, then we would stop looking externally for someone else to pleasure us. So we would have our youth knowing that it was good to touch themselves, know their bodies. They wouldn't have to go out there and experiment if they didn't want to or if they didn't actually feel like that was the way to learn about sex.
Right.
They could do it with their own body.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, but I guess this is where a big piece of my work and what I share on Instagram and my podcast is instilling parents with the skill set of how to teach and talk to their kids.
And have those conversations.
Yeah, because that's where it should start.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, do you mind, we're going to do some quick fire tips.
Okay. I don't like tips.
Okay,
quick,
so what would your top, I was actually, as I wrote this, I was like, she's not going to be, you can't have a quick answer to these because they're so good. Okay, your top tip to a young couple that's just getting together.
Talk about what you like. Talk about the value that you're going to place on sex in the relationship.
Wow.
So most people know.
What does that mean? Like sex is really important to me and I want it 3 times a week.
Yeah. Because you have to marry that up, because actually that's going to be the biggest downfall in a relationship 10 years down the track.
Yeah.
Sex, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's okay. Half of them won't even know what they want though, will they? New parents adjusting to life with kids.
Oh my
I was thinking, God, that's hard.
I know. Start slow. Start with nothing that's sexual. Just loving, intimate touch.
Oh, yeah. Baby's asleep. Let's just cuddle on the couch and fall asleep watching that movie.
Yeah. And do not buy into that crocker shit of 6 weeks post-birth that you're ready to go for sex. No way. You listen to your body. You've been through something massive. It takes a year for that body to come back and all the organs get back into alignment. It's just... Yeah, we need to change that narrative. It's
cool.
Easy.
So just take your time. You'll know. Do it your way. There's no hard and fast rule. A married couple looking to find the spark again after 20 years.
Go to a sex club.
I was going to say, well, go and see you. That sounds right.
Or come and see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You need something new. You need something spicy. You need to just almost put a circuit breaker in, figure out what you both want. There's just so many things you can do now.
Yeah.
But it depends on both individuals and what they're willing to do.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, so what about any specific advice for gay, lesbian couples? Is it different with same sex?
No, not really. It's still the same fundamentals, good communication. I feel like it seems to be more acceptable to explore or have open relationships. But it's still the same. You're two people trying to connect, trying to keep things spicy.
I do find a lot of my my gay friends can have more blunt, honest conversations.
Yes.
I sometimes think that in my heteros.
I know. And gays have been flying the flag of normalising sexuality and having fun with it for years.
Yeah, no, I do feel like sometimes they have far more honest conversations with each other and the people around, and they look at you like you are prude.
Yes.
And if you say something, it's like, it sounds like you're the one with the problem, not me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Okay, the podcast is called Ask Me Anything. Yes. So this is that one little bit, because I've done all the asking so far, that you may ask me something.
How many orgasms have you had this week?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I was going to go, wow. We've already said I'm quite old. I was quite horny in my teens and 20s.
Were you keeping tabs of orgasms back then?
That is a good question, and I would see, and I'm going to answer it by saying I've been away just about most of the week, and then you're going to say that shouldn't matter because I should have taken care of it myself, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if I'm trying to think what day I'm on Wednesday. So yeah, if I'm being honest, it's none.
None, okay.
And I was immediately going to come up with my excuse.
Oh, yes, of being away from your partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I gave you the answer I thought you'd give me. So.
Yeah, which is good. Does that mean that
means
maybe
I've learned
orgasm
something.
Is on the cards tonight?
Yeah, it means I'm learning something.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you for sharing. Can I ask what value you do place on sex in your marriage?
I have definitely been through ups and downs, which I think is quite normal. And I think that, particularly when I was in that very stressful role and going through menopause, I just really noticed a change. And I don't think my partner and I communicated that quite as well as we could have. And at the end of it, we sort of sat down and had a really nice emotional meltdown together. Oh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he went, God, I just wish I'd known all of that, And but this is in my defense, I said, I wish I had. I didn't know, which is why I talk about menopause so much, right? Because I didn't know what I was going through and I didn't know it was that. Oh, so I almost felt like I was falling out of love with myself and him, whereas actually I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't at all. I was going through hormonal and physical changes that were really affecting me. And we don't talk about it, right?
Yeah, well, how beautiful, though, that you both had that moment of melting into each other.
How lucky.
Yeah.
That we kind of fell into each other and just went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a chance to change the pathway together.
I suppose that's that circuit breaker.
Yeah.
That if we hadn't had something like that, then, and it was too much wine on the beach at Pie here,
Doesn't matter what the recipe is. You got there. It's good.
So there you go. All right. Tell me a little bit about season 2. So it's different than season 1?
Yeah, well, people were so shocked, right, that there was this rural sex school. And I thought, well, okay, if people are shocked by that, let me tell you what else is going on behind the bakeries of New Zealand and the sex clubs, just that people didn't know about, So I've taken myself out to some sexual events. I've been to like a wrestling kink party.
Nice.
I've been to an underwear party.
I hear they're all the rage, someone was telling me at work.
What, the underwear party?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so great. You get to just go and dance and party in your underwear.
Yeah.
You get to see body diversity, body shape. And you're just celebrating yourself and you're free in your expression. And I feel like clothes, whilst they are an expression of yourself, they also hide a lot. And when you're kind of just peeled back, you're just so much more open as a person. You can connect easier with people. Yeah, it's really refreshing, actually.
Okay, so each episode we get to experience with you.
Yeah.
And you're putting your body on the line again.
Yes, I know. I'm a sucker for it, aren't I? I just thought, well, it's always good for me to be on the coalface, to actually see what's happening out there and to have a felt experience of it and to know if that's a place that I can recommend for clients to go, Like I went to a sex club to see if that was good for clients that are wanting to open up marriages. Is that a good, safe place? Can you go into a controlled environment and get your needs met?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've seen some things I never thought I would see. That are happening out in places like West Auckland. But, it's good to know.
Well, it sounds like you should all listen in. Thank you for today, Morgan. It's been very interesting, enlightening, and I've definitely learnt something. So that's all cool. So where can people find you?
So you can find me. I do a lot of sharing on Instagram, Morgan the Sexologist, and you can listen to Sex.Life on iHeart or wherever you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. And that's it for another episode of Ask Me Anything. You can get in touch with me by emailing askpaula@nzherald.co.nz. Please feel free to send me through your questions for the podcast or any thoughts you have. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram or LinkedIn. Make sure you follow Ask Me Anything on iHeartRadio. Sounds like you need to also go and follow Sex.Life on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts, and you can read my weekly column in the Herald on Sunday. I'm Paula Bennett. Ask Me Anything. Goodbye.